Well, spring is typically always full of changes, and this year is going to be no different. We're expecting some big changes across the southeast with really warm temperatures, some heavy rain in areas of the central U.S., Kansas, Oklahoma, places maybe where we've not seen as much rain so far this spring. Looks like you're going to get some rain. And out west, as we get toward the end of the week, into the weekend, into next week, I'm telling you, a pretty decent trough is going to swing through. I'm watching that time period for some severe weather as this moves east. So let's hop right to it. Let's get to the models. Let's look at what's going on in the upper levels. This is sort of the big picture look here. We're looking down from the North Pole. When I look at the long range, I like to do this because this gives you a good picture of what's going on, not just here in North America, but we're looking over into Asia, into Europe too. And, it's a lot different to look at in the winter than it is right now in the spring. So usually things look a lot different. You don't see a strong polar vortex spinning here with a lot of embedded troughs swinging through. What you really start to see is these cold pockets of air that have broken off and they've moved down into the mid-latitudes, and that's what's really driving our sensible weather. So let's back you up to where we are right now, and we'll kind of take it day by day, heading into Tuesday. One thing that I notice here across the United States is a very flat flow. If anything, pretty suppressed. To me, this looks relatively calm, although there is a chance of some severe weather heading into Tuesday. We'll look at that in a few areas, but certainly not a major look for severe weather. However, this will start to change as the upper level pattern starts to shift, and you want to look back here to Alaska. As we get an upper low start to pivot here, this starts to dig into a more broad long wave trough here just off the west coast. On the east side of this, a decent ridge, and I think this means some really warm temperatures as we head toward Thursday and Friday for the southeast, also the central United States. Some areas could get pretty toasty, look at this. We're at the end of April. It could feel very summer-like, and many of you have probably already had to crank the AC. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you already had to do it? I know I have. And again, I think more work for the AC, especially across the deep south and the southeast, maybe even as far north as the mid-Atlantic and the northeast as we get pretty toasty. Now we're looking to the west. Our weather pattern definitely showing a trough in the west. If you got this cold pool of air here just off the west coast, this is going to bring some unsettled weather, quite a bit of rain, maybe even some low-level mountain snows here as we see our snow levels drop. And now you look toward the beginning of next weekend for what could be a severe weather outbreak as we see some good diffluence as this trough swings out of the west. You're probably going to have some kind of jet streak swinging around this, and that opens you up to some severe weather for the plains states. Still, several days before we get here, this is the time period to watch. However, we're still going to stay warm and toasty in the east, and when we look at the temperature departures from average, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is going to continue just to crank north, and I'm telling you, heading into Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday of next week, things could really get popping. So pay attention to the weather over the next couple of days, and we'll see how all this progresses. And then beyond this, what we don't see is a big intrusion of cold air. So as we end April and as we begin May, to me, this looks warm. This looks above average, and this may almost be like an early summer feel here as we head toward, again, the first week of May. Look at these temperature departures from average. We'll take you through the next couple of days and into the weekend. Anything over orange here, this is a good 5, 10, maybe in some cases. Look at this. Some of these deeper oranges here around the Great Lakes are indicating close to 15 degrees above average. A little cool, though, across the Rockies into parts of the northern plains, a little bit below average. And then here comes that trough swinging into the west coast with below average temperatures from California into the Four Corner states, Nevada, into Washington and Oregon. That pushes all the way east as we head through the early part of next week. And look at these temperatures across the upper Midwest and the northern plains. Central U.S., we're way above average here with a good 15 to 20 degrees. And then that trough swings east and our severe risk starts to go up. As far as rain goes over the next 7 days, this is what we're looking like across Kansas, Oklahoma, and I know in Kansas we could use some rain. A lot of you have been telling me you could use some. So I think you're going to get some pretty decent rain heading through the weekend, and then it could continue into next week with the Weather Prediction Center pushing out about 3 to 4 inches of rain in some areas. Further to the east, not as much rain with our front as it pushes off to the east. We've seen some shower activity, and that will continue. Some decent rain across the south, but otherwise kind of dry here across the Ohio Valley. That starts to change as we head into the weekend with rain showers picking up with inch to 2 inches of rain. Some of these heavier thunderstorms could produce some decent rain in some areas. And across the west, pretty dry out here, at least across the far southwest. Things do start to change across the Pacific Northwest heading into Saturday, into Sunday. We get some onshore flow here, and that certainly means that we're going to get some precipitation and some snow levels that we're going to see come down as well as that cold air aloft works in. Let's talk about in the short term the severe weather risk as we head into Tuesday. It's mostly across Texas, Oklahoma, some of that streaming north all the way up towards Chicago here into Illinois. Just a slight chance up to a moderate chance of some severe thunderstorms. The main risk, I think, is going to be across Texas, back here across West Texas, where there could be some tornadoes. Storm Prediction Center eyeing this area very low here, only about a 2% chance here, pretty low on the number, but not a zero threat. As we take a look at the big picture, front moving east, it's kind of falling apart. It's bringing some showers into the mid-Atlantic, into the southeast. Some of these storms also firing across North Carolina could get on the strong side heading into Tuesday afternoon as well. And then these storms back across Texas, reaching all the way into the Great Lakes along this corridor. A few strong storms possible. Some snow on the northern side of this, right along the North Dakota-Canadian border. It doesn't look like a lot, but still cold enough for some snow and very chilly up in here. However, you drop south of this front, and it's still fairly warm across the southeast. Muggy. I mean, look at this. You've got afternoon showers and storms showing up on the models. Boom. They kind of go away at night. A disturbance moving through here. This is going to bring a better chance of some showers heading into Friday. That moves east into the mid-Atlantic and the northeast as we head into Saturday. There's that cold system. It's a cold core low moving into California, into the west coast. That's going to drop those snow levels down. And in my opinion, this is the player to watch heading into next week. As this moves east, is it going to be a severe weather maker? I think it could be something we're watching. It's still pretty far out, but you're talking day 7, day 8, somewhere in that time frame. As a deep area of low pressure starts to form, boom, here you go. What are we going to be looking at here across the plains? So plenty of time before we get here. I think I'm still taking a wait and let's see attitude being 7 days out, but pay attention. All right. If you're new to the channel, thanks for coming by. I'm Travis. I used to be a chief meteorologist years ago on TV. So if you're looking for a weather source here on YouTube, if you're just seeing me for the first time, I hope you'll consider coming back and subscribing. I see some OGs in the live chat. Good to see you guys. And if you are just catching this at the end of the stream, you can always go back and watch it from the beginning or come back and watch them anytime. All right. Have a good Monday night, what's left of it, and I will see you on Tuesday. We'll give you another update. See ya.